And that may not necessarily be your focus, but when I think of small and medium businesses, I think of those brick and mortar. I think of those, businesses that have been around for 30 years and, my parents and my grandparents and I as a kid might have shopped there or have a relationship with them in the community. That's shifting, even with around the conversation of AI, because to bring small and medium businesses and middle sort of the middle class backbone into the age of AI is also to kind of increase this opportunity space for them to kind of, be alley-ooped into I don't want to say a company goes viral, but essentially, right? They could use AI to kind of grow in a way that doesn't keep them 30 years as the backbone of an economy, but rather almost puts them in the race for how do I become an enterprise? How do I stay ahead of everything? And I actually don't want to support the middle class. I'm just here right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I think, a lot of it's at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, at some point, most entrepreneurs, they sell out literally, right? Because that's the goal. Yeah. They actually they're creating these businesses to they literally go in, and especially in the tech space, they go in with a 3 or 5 year plan. Their plan is to create a business and exit in 5 years and make XYZ, sell to, Google, Microsoft, whomever. Do you really want to create a business for the rest of your lifetime, and should you, right? Or do you get, hey, somebody dangles $1 billion in your face? Do you make that decision, or do you remain ethical? Or I'm not saying you have to not be ethical to sell, but do you, give away your technology into another corporation? Again, I haven't been in that position yet. But I do think it's something that, we have to think about. OpenAI is an example. They started off in, I think 2015 as a nonprofit. And then it was and then I think in 2019 they became cap profit. And now they have a nonprofit wing and they have a for-profit wing. And then that kind of all these things quietly happened.
And they were trying to sell themselves. Right. Remember when they were trying to sell the company and or there was all this drama around, should they buy or should they not? And then, in the middle of the night to try to, quote unquote, save the company, not really save it, but get ahead of where they knew we were going with AI. They, kind of decided to take a bet on themselves, form this for-profit kind of, backing themselves rather than looking to be acquired. They could have taken that and exited, and I think that would have been to the detriment, because when you put the technology in the wrong hands for the wrong reasons, and I think that's we're on the cusp of that in a lot of different ways. I guess my opinion on that is, well, at least they didn't sell to Elon Musk, but at the end of the day, they're a profit company, and they're kind of shedding away their original intent, because I think they were created OpenAI for the benefit of humanity and discovery, but I don't know if they'll live up to that. So, kind of going deeper on that, AI has become very ubiquitous. It's become pervasive. As you mentioned earlier, companies are being encouraged to essentially die or AI. And I just made that up. So, but it's basically get with it or, lose. And as someone who has such a rich background in, IT, cybersecurity, AI, where do you see the line between technology that's smart and intelligent and one that's invasive, right? Because essentially what you're talking about, even with the example of Flowkestra and some of these other sort of AI apps, is we want it to be integration should almost be an age-old word, because integration almost implies that they're not connected to begin with. But what you're talking about is let's connect all of these different things around your needs in one place. And
I think when we think about invasive and this sort of idea about connection, there are people, like you said, who want certain parts of their lives to be, to remain private or to remain non-connected. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, everyone is being encouraged to be more smart, to be more intelligent, to incorporate AI. How do you use AI to kind of like, have that balance between, like smart and intelligent, but non-evasive mm-hmm. without kind of giving up your autonomy?
Yeah, I think what we're building, is in context of business. It's voluntary. It's sure. Business data. With that said, for the product we're building, privacy laws, regulations, those are, in my opinion, would be beneficial to our business because we build in those type of things, thinking about privacy, thinking about, your data, thinking about securing data, not leaking data, being very, thoughtful and strict around where the data resides and how it's being used and processed, whether it's with third parties and things like that. So taking into account, HIPAA laws, right? If there's healthcare information, so we're building that's built into the application itself as it should. However, I think that those privacy regulations, I think the privacy laws, so different state, it's different in different state. There's not anything at the national level. Like there's no AI regulation at the national level. They tried not to.
And there won't be.
And there probably won't be.